Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, I've got wonderful news about some products that are being reprinted, and this is great, because it is going to bring down the prices of those products. It is going to make the products more available. Quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, this kind of seems like a win for everybody involved. So yay! Now this came from a tweet from the lovely folks over at Paladin Cards, and it just said, looks like Shining Fates and Vivid Voltage Elite Trainer boxes are getting a reprint. Now of course, I see stuff like this, I get very excited, but by the same token, I've been doing this a little bit of a while now, there's gotta be a little bit of built-in skepticism. I'm not gonna come reporting to you guys based on a tweet from one source, because quite frankly that would be slightly irresponsible. So I ask around, I do a little bit of digging, and it turns out there are a bunch of people who are basically saying the same thing. And the general rule is that when we have a bunch of people that are saying the same thing, that tends to be generally true, which is wonderful news. Now, of course, we then have to ask the follow-up question. Well, okay then, but what do we mean by restock? We generally use the word restock and reprint interchangeably. It doesn't really mean much. And I'm as bad at this as anybody is, so I can't say too much. But generally speaking, we say restock, we say reprint. It's all kind of up in the air. So we need to ask the question of exactly what are we talking about in terms of numbers here. Because it doesn't really matter where they came from, whether it's a restock, reprint, etc. What really matters is the numbers. Because if it's a very small reprint, essentially what happens is that you get some stores who are like, look, everyone's only getting a few. Just keep the prices super high. Essentially, stores will see it as an excuse to stock a product which has got high value because it's been sold out for a while, and then just keep raising the price, and they've just got a bit more stock to sell at a higher price. But if there's lots of stock going around everywhere, that trick doesn't work, and everybody's got to lower the price. Well, what I'm hearing from Paladin Cards and others is that it's fairly substantial. Sometimes when this happens, you're talking about one or two cases, like half a dozen boxes. Here, we are talking, well, some people I've spoken to have said hundreds. I'm hearing that it's a pretty big reprint. Now again, and I do need to mention this does need to be said, I am not a vendor. I do not know this for a fact. I am not able to order this stock. I'm going on what I've been told by a bunch of people, but everything I'm hearing seems to back this up and seems to say that it's true. It is also stores in the US that tend to be getting these reprints, restocks, whatever they are at the moment. So again, we need to be slightly cautious here because there is a possibility that this is unfortunately only for the US, but we've seen plenty of restocks in the past that have actually been for a whole bunch of different places, so hold your horses for the moment, but it seems like a big reprint is coming, and it seems like it's going to be a big enough reprint to really make a difference. It might come from outside the US as well, or it might only be in the US, we don't know for certain. But the good news is that this is going to affect things. So let's take the Shining Fates Elite Trainer Box. This is a $50 product. I believe the RRP in the US is $50. And if we look at the last couple of sold listings for this, we're not talking about hugely expensive, but they tend to be hovering somewhere around $70, which you're still talking about a 40% increase. You're still talking about spending 40% above RRP to get hold of this. And we're not talking absolutely horrendous here. We're not talking about one of these products which is completely out of reach for your average person. No, we are not talking about that at all. But we are talking about a product, the price of which has risen quite a bit. And whereas a couple of months ago I was telling you that these are fairly readily available in stores, you should be trying to get hold of these as fast as you can, because it's not going to last forever. Now we're at the stage where you can pick them up fairly easily in the US, but you're going to be paying about 40% above RRP, $20 above the $50 RRP. Now I will say that in the UK, We don't need a reprint of Shining Fates Elite Trainer boxes. Whether they're coming or not, we don't actually need them. So, and again, any store I am shouting out here I have no existing relationship with, I am just giving examples. I am not endorsing any stores. But there are a bunch of shops out there that are just selling these at or below RRP in the UK. GoFigureCollectibles.uk are selling them, well, they say $45, but it's also like £4 postage, I think. So realistically, you're talking around about 50 quid. But in the UK, they retail for $52.50. So although it might not be much below RRP, it is still below RRP, and this is just one example. There are a bunch of shops over in the UK where you can buy these for at or just below RRP, so it's not needed. In the US, that's not the case. eBay tends to be a little bit above. This is wonderful news. But the better news here is the Vivid Voltage Elite Trainer box, which, quite frankly, is not available at or around RRP. This one is getting a little bit sillier. Now remember, Vivid Voltage is a regular set. Shining Fates is a special set, which means Shining Fates is a $50 Elite Trainer box with a promo. Eevee, it's there on the box, whereas the Vivid Voltage box is $40 and doesn't have a promo. Also has a couple fewer packs. And that is being sold, if you look at sold listings over on eBay, for about $90. Just a hair below $90, which is more than double. $80 would be double. Here, we are talking about $90. That's not even close. That's not, it's a smidge above RRP, GUR, etc. This is, holy moly, that's a lot. That's not cool. It's out of range for a lot of people. And if this is a fairly big restock, and we think it is, again, please do bear in mind I'm not a shop in the US. All I can do is go on the information I've got, but the information seems reliable and seems to say this is what we're getting. Well, this is big, ladies and gentlemen. This is really kind of big. You can't be selling this for more than double RRP in a situation where everybody is getting a lot of stock of this. Because essentially, no one's going to buy it, and a couple of stores are going to come in and drop the price, and essentially then everybody's going to have to drop the price, because if you're selling at $90 and other people are selling at $40, you're just not going to sell, and it's basically going to force everyone to sell, if not at RRP, and I hope at RRP, but if not at RRP, certainly significantly closer to it. This is wonderful news, because again, Vivid Voltage is not the kind of thing, even in the UK, you can't just wander into a store and find a Vivid Voltage Elite Trainer box. These are again being sold, unfortunately, a fair amount above RRP. And that's rubbish and sad, but that's the way it is. These products are just, they've not been out there for a little while. And now they're coming back. Anyone that's wondering, over in the UK, you can't really find it in stores. So if we head on over to eBay, we find they're generally being sold for around about £65. I think they're $42.50 as an RRP. So more reasonable than in the US, but still a fair amount above. And as a fun little side note, it does seem like the Pikachu V boxes from Shining Fates are also getting a bit of a reprint. For what it's worth, the Elite Trainer boxes are way cooler, more packs, the promo, etc. Although I suppose the Pikachu does have a bit of a promo in there as well, which is kind of cool. But this is not something I'm hugely excited about. It's the Elite Trainer boxes which are really making me happy. But honestly, these are not proving to be hideously expensive products. Like the last one that was sold on US eBay ended up at $22.72 with 4 bids. That's, about $20 products RRP if I remember correctly. So, yeah. Over in the US, 2 were sold for 28 quid and 2 were sold for 38 quid and 1 was sold for 20 quid. They retail at 20 quid. So, these have actually not been terribly difficult products to find. These have been, both in the US and the UK, these have been available around about retail, which is clearly wonderful news. So, it's not something I would worry about too much. But, it's there. Yay. I think the Elite Trainer boxes are the real star. And like I've said, if this does turn out to be true, if we do have a restock of or reprint of Vivid Voltage Elite Trainer boxes, and it certainly looks like that's the case, this is great news because this is going to help a whole bunch of people get hold of a product that up till now they've not been able to get hold of. And in my eyes, that is always a wonderful thing. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.